Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Mark's working late tonight, and this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy day, isn't it? It's been a very crazy month. It's going to continue to be a crazier October too. But we're good. We're good. We're here. We're good. We're okay. So I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's safe. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Today I want to talk a bit of a story time, or stories time, I guess. Talking about change. Changes. You know, change happens in every area of life. It's fresh in my mind because I will be married this time next month. That's a big change that'll be happening. We've moved recently. It was another change. And I was putting together the wedding guest list. Okay, this is what kind of brought it back. And I was making out a list of people, and I don't have a huge circle. You know, it's pretty tight. And I do have the kind of friends you can fall in and out of contact with. But like, hey, catch up on Facebook, and you're back to where you were within 5-minute conversation. So I had a few of those, like college aged. Some of those friends I have talked to but not seen in like 15 or so years. Adding them to the wedding list almost seemed like, I don't know, rude? Like, we haven't been in close communication, but I'd still like you to come celebrate if you'd like to come. Going through old friends in it, old employers, people I used to work with who were going to be invited. It was all these different chapters of my life. Like, without these few people who I hope will be coming, I never would have come out without their support, their tight, close support. I never would have, you know, lived to see 30 if it hadn't been for my parents running after me and keeping me safe until I got sober. They were a huge part of my life. And still are. I mean, parents, I'm fortunate. I had good parents and they're still alive. So we have that to look forward to. Change from Mark and I being friends to being together as a couple. All sorts of different things coming up. And so it is fall, too. It just turned fall. A season of change. The season that when people say, what's your favorite season? And most of us say fall. Fall. Beautiful. Up here in the Northeast especially, it's nice. So the leaves are changing. It's a time of transition. Things ending, things beginning. Me thinking of inspirational song lyrics in my head to try to explain to myself what's kind of happening around me. It's very nerve-wracking. Some of it is. Because, like, straight up today, I took a day off work. Not even work from home. I have a 1-hour Zoom meeting that I did. But then after the meeting, I took the rest of the day before and after off. I'm having some physical side effects from tension. Probably. I mean, this was stress and anxiety is what put me in the hospital last time. And what I'm trying to do is roll with the punches, take it easy. Now, in my transition from my 30s to now I am 40, it seems like some things immediately were not as important as they used to be. Like youth and beauty, comparing lifestyles, mine to somebody else's. I used to feel so off track with having how I thought a life should go. You know, in my head, the people live 1,000 different ways, but in my head, it would be you get high school, college, meet someone, married, job in there too, career. And I had my personal and professional goals all mixed up with each other. I couldn't decide which one was supposed to make me happy. Neither of them were. I was supposed to be happy anyway. But I would chase work and men pretty much to try to fill that space that I had. And good God. How different things turned out than I thought they would. I mean, I've only now begun to sort of use my college diploma. I have a degree in communication, and, you know, we make videos. That's as close as it got. Otherwise, I just dropped 50 grand on school. We'll see if any of it comes through with changes on their way. I've been paying on them for years, and I think I owe 1,000 more still than I borrowed after 15 years of paying them. Again, that seems like a lifetime ago. College friends, old employers, family members I haven't seen in 30, 40 years. And I have different and unique relationships with a lot of the people that I'm inviting. You know, some of them are coworkers, and so we all know each other. But I'm one for the cigarette break, where someone, you know, you talk, you catch up, you do after work stuff, and you get to know who the people are. that you're with. There's other jobs that I would have probably invited people from, but it was too long ago. It was people I knew way before I was getting anything like help for addiction or anything like that. These were people that were the first to get screwed over. And I was still coming out of college and transitioning from ex-boyfriend to desperate alcoholic. You know, it was real, not too hard of a slide for me. You know, I had it in me anyway. I didn't realize after that how much my life would have changed than I thought before. I thought I met the guy, he's in law school, I'm a young college graduate, I was just offered a job at the university making frickin' and it was, for 20 years ago, it was a decent salary. And I was like, that's a life, that's a life. And I thought, you know, I have everything, I want to be happy, what else would I need? This was the checklist. This was the bucket list. I want a job that pays this much so I can live comfortably. I want to live in a major city. I want to be in a relationship that goes somewhere. And maybe not drink as much. You know, those were the goals at the time. Things changed quick. We had a breakup. I was consoling myself by drinking. My own personal drunk drama got in the way of me being a regular at my own job. And I had a union job and I was fired. You gotta do so. I mean, you can pretty much catch a body and not lose a union job if the reps are there. But I couldn't expect anyone at that point to defend me because I wasn't asking for any help. I was just complaining that I was sick and saying no one else is doing anything about it. I would smack someone with that attitude now, but that was me. That's why when I hear the occasionally ignorant thing come out of, you know, Foodie Beauty or whoever else, it's like, well, I used to feel that way and kind of think that way till something happened and it changed my perspective. And I don't feel the same way about it anymore. You know, that kind of change I think is good. Growth is a kind of change. That's a good one. It's preferred to decay because I mean that's a change too. That's not always good though. I would not have thought that the life I have right now is the life that I would have picked. Is it everything I ever wanted? In my wildest dreams? I have some wild effing dreams, so probably not. But I like the life I have. It's nice. There were things I had to let go of permanently, change permanently to be able to enjoy life. I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of my mental health. I cannot consume alcohol, particularly because that drug, alcohol is a drug. Say what? It's a drug. Oh, shit. Yeah. If you went to an NA meeting ever, you might catch on to some of that. They have a lot of sayings in 12-step programs. So, I had changed so much from the, like, Twinkie, insecure, club kid with the pacifier thing, and then kind of found my way into being hip young adulthood, and then fucked that up. And then moved back in with my parents and then lived with them for 7 years or 8 years. And then I moved in with Mark and we were dating. And then now, this really could have been short, I suppose. So it took a lot of changes. I'm not as attractive. Well, I'm more attractive now, I think, than I was about 10 years ago when I met Mark. I was sloppy. We were just being friends, trying to stay in touch, you know, and he was coming and going in my life every 2 weeks. He'd come and stay and he would leave. And I was like, heart on my sleeve, dying. Telling my mother, telling my friends, telling everybody who would listen. I was like, I like this guy and I don't think he knows I exist and I don't know how much longer I can take it. I don't want another friend. I want him to get... A lot of the confidants that have heard more about Mark than probably I've shared. I shared a lot about Mark before we were together because I had mixed feelings. I was like torch on, you know... I will wait you out. It's kind of how we roll in our family. You just wait the partner out. Let them try everything else and then find their way back. Real sticks with people. Okay, they remember that. So, now we got into change again. By the end of this month, I will have gotten on a plane again for our trip to Austin. That's something I would never do. I'm trying not to think about it at all because I'm terrified of flying. Absolutely terrified of flying. did talk to my doctor. We're going to see what we can do with something to maybe take the edge off for me to get on a plane. And there's 2 layovers. So that's 4 takeoffs and 4 landings. I'm not a world traveler like that. I haven't been on a plane in years. So that'll be something new. It'll see, am I a different kind of person? That'll be a test for me, actually, to get on a plane. Am I the same kind of neurotic, totally ruled by emotion and anxiety kind of person that I was the last time I got on a plane? Last time I got on a plane, I was so hungover that it was approaching the DTs. I went to New Orleans for a vacation. That says enough, probably. Port-a-Call, and I had like 3 of these giant liquor things, and then it was so hot, and I almost threw up. It was bad. So Austin should be a little bit different, but very out of my comfort zone. Very much the kind of thing I'd go, oh, that sounds great, but I don't want to go. We got the itinerary and everything. We're eating a lot of damn barbecue. We are eating a lot of damn barbecue. We got the itinerary, and it's like up in the morning. Like the day we land, we have to go very quickly to our first engagement. It's a place, we're staying downtown in Austin with some other sweepstakes winners. And it's going to be somewhere between a way to hang out there, but also they need like probably pictures of us eating barbecue at 1,000 different places across Austin. And all of them look like they're downtown. So it'll be fun to see something different. I've always heard as a Yankee that if you're going to visit Texas, the place to see is Austin, because it's a little more free-thinking, it's a little more relaxed, it's not as uptight, Texas doesn't have a terrible reputation. Not all Texans, but enough do that, you know, you have stereotypes about those things. I don't have enough time there to even decide. We're just going to be eating and picking our teeth, I think, the whole time. Trying to take some footage, if we can, try to bring something back, but also to have kind of a few days away, a novelty kind of thing to do. So that part of me, I think, has changed a little, because the fact that I even tossed it around in my head to get on a plane when we already have a busy month, because we are also getting married, and then shortly after that wanted to do something like a honeymoon. Okay. I'm not a CEO. I also don't have like 300 paid days vacation. I gotta divvy them up a little bit. So that'll be something different. And then we come back. Married is different. I always assumed I would. I just didn't know who or when. I guess in hindsight, I'm not surprised it was not until this part of my life when it sounded like a good idea. It sounded all romantic and sweet when I was 18 and met my first boy, and it was all, well, the second boy. The first one was... and it was moonlight and roses, and it was all shooting stars laying on the beach in Ocean City and all that stuff. And I thought that was it. That was going to be the thing. And that was a reason to get into a relationship with someone. I had no permanent residence. I was in school. He was living with his parents after leaving school to go back and work in food service. We had no plans. We just liked each other a lot. There was infatuation, too. I mean, I was very infatuated with him. And we just kind of fell apart. I started school. 9/11 happened. Right then, within a week and a half of me starting school in Philly, 9/11 happened. So, almost nobody I knew before that was really like the same after either. Because it was the whole collective trauma that we all went through at once. And I was spending it with a bunch of 20-year-olds who had never been away from home before. So we were all consoling each other. We were all looking after each other. Also a change of mine. I don't really care too much about people's feedback about how I conduct myself or my life or anything like that. And I think that's a function of age as much as like personal growth, because we both know some people who are almost 40 that carry on like they're 12. So it's not a given that all of us, you know, grow into good human beings and, you know, take the resources available to us growing up to change. Change sounds easy until you met the woman who's tried everything. Change sometimes just is very passive. I found in my life things just happen to me. Those of us who are prone to being a little bit self-centered might think the whole world is out to screw me. None of us are so goddamn important that the whole freaking world, 9 billion people, are going to stop and listen to my complaint. You know, it's not that large of a deal usually. But that kind of perspective wasn't like the kind of thing I had when I was like 20 or 22. thinking about responsibilities going forward with changes. I'm going to be married. I'm going to have a husband. And me and my married husband are going to have taxes and insurance and other things that come with it. And that would have been, I would hope, with any relationship, but I guess not even that's a given. I've both in a couple that were lopsided, my direction or the other, of who kind of provided everything, paid for everything, you know, did this, did that. Mark and I, it's very equal. We're not, I was fortunate to find a guy who's not so into, like, he likes to garden and the decorations and the grow lights and all this stuff. And that's his shtick, you know, he likes it. And I like living in a decorated house. I just don't like decorating it. So I had changed a lot coming up into just the beginning of the relationship. And I was not the same person when we started dating that I was when I met him the 4 years earlier. I had no life direction, no nothing, no prospects, nothing. I had nothing going on. Real catch I was. There was a real long line for 300-pound bulimic chain-smoking alcoholics. I know, don't hate, don't be jealous. But as I got better, I cared less about needing Mark. This is the torch-carrying days. As I felt better and started to get better with my mental health and stuff, the less I needed him to look to as something to be a goal, to be excited about, to be a goal towards, you know, to be all for this. Because of course now, part of me stays well. Part of the reason is because I have somebody else to consider. It's not just me anymore. If you make a commitment to another, I feel me, Steve. If you make another commitment to people or persons that you're going to look out for them, and you're going to look out for each other for the rest of your life, that's a big deal. That means I'm going to farm out some of my needs to another person and trust that they will continue to meet them. And vice versa, that I can't just be on the gimme end. You know, the only thing I need to do in this relationship is show up. That didn't work too. So, I don't know. Change is challenging, which is why I've gone in a few directions here. But basically, the change popped up because it's going to be a very interesting next 30 days. Very interesting. We will not be the same people. Mark and I are now we're continuing to grow and change together. You know, once he entered my life and we started dating and started being together, I still have things that are my goals, but all of a sudden there were our goals, and there's things we want to work on. You know, we were in couples therapy very early into the relationship, which was kind of like, is that a red flag? You know, am I not doing the right thing? If we hadn't done that, I don't think we'd have had the last 8 years either. So, well, folks, I'm pooped. I'm so pooped. I am so tired. But it's not something I want to kind of blow aside. I still don't want to put the channel to the side. That's something I love and intend to keep room for. So even though we've been tied up, it almost feels like you're not taking your friends' messages or not returning phone calls. But you guys have said, and you've been very generous and forthright with, you're having a wedding. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We can hear later about Foodie Beauty. And I appreciate that candor. I appreciate that honesty. Because she's really the last thing on my mind, generally. I get little updates here and there on how she's doing, but it's not the infatuation it used to be. I think I'm not as angry at her is because I don't expect much from her. You know, again, function of age. Well, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for coming to hear my story time. The takeaway, the lesson, this too shall pass, whether it's good or bad, you know. You know, and I try to keep up with life now rather than having it run past me and leave me behind. And that's probably the biggest change. Without that kind of little change, I wouldn't have had the discipline to work or a relationship or anything like that. So here's to change. Ching ching. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and also when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address, contact info, and stuff is all listed below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you very soon. I will send Mark your regards, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.